warning. Repeat, warning. Warning. This is an attack warning. Warning. Repeat, warning. Warning. This is an attack warning. This is an attack warning.
Well, hello, everybody. And hello, everybody, and welcome to the first edition of Average Superstar TV Live. All right, so I'm new to this world. So awesome. All right, people are popping up in the comment section. Hello, Melanie. How you doing? We really got a cool show for you tonight. First off, I'd like to thank everybody who's been keeping up with Average Superstar TV, my weekly podcast. That's been a blast doing. The guest I've been getting has been quite amazing. So those shows drop every Monday at 5 a.m. We're on YouTube, which I need everybody to subscribe to, which is that's very important. And we're also available on Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher. And I'm really trying to work on a few other outlets that are more on the bigger side. But to tell you right now, Apple's giving me a little bit of a hard time, so I'm working on that one. So, yes, I got a bunch of guests coming in here. I got Brian Emright coming on later on in the show, along with Josh and Sarah Schultz. We'll be talking about some horror movies. That's later in the show. All about any questions that anybody looking to ask me anything. Got some dark military updates going on. So basically for the last 2 years, like a lot of us, it's been sucking for a lot of us. When this whole thing went down, I was like, don't make any films. Don't do anything. Just wait this out. The last thing I needed was to start a film project, and everything got worse. I can't film something and everybody just goes away and is afraid to come back. And one after another, missile after missile, I was gun shy and everything. So I've never been gun shy about telling everybody that I work a real world job. I'm not one of those actors. I act like I only make movies. That's all I do. No, I'm completely honest always about that sort of thing. So I just fell pretty deep into the real world job. I worked a real lot. I worked 6 days a week last year. except for 3 weekends. Yes. Yeah, that's how crazy my freaking schedule was. So the money was really freaking nice. That was a good thing. So, but if I knew this stuff was going to be that crazy, like this long, I would have started the podcast way earlier. So, you know, I'm just kind of glad that, you know, got things rolling here. Got some film projects coming up. I would like to start off by gonna run a really quick couple second video here. All right, this is for our fallen soldier of the dark military, Anton. So yeah, if anybody did get the update earlier, I posted on the Dark Military page last week. One of my Dark Military cast actually passed away. Got really good dude named Anton. He ended up, what do you call it? He ended up getting, this is secondhand information I got from my producer, Mary Liz. I guess he got caught up with some sort of drug loss. I don't know exactly what went down, but he was a good dude. He's one of the few cast members I actually didn't get to know on a personal level. Everybody who knows how I cast my movies, I literally draft you. Like the first guy coming on tonight, Joe Garofalo. I know him. I was like, I like this guy. I want him in my movies. I'm drafting this guy. So what happened was after we filmed the first year with the Dark Military, the role of Judas was played by Eric Foxhill. He stepped away from the film business completely. There was a hole to fill when we shot pickup shots. We decided to add another scene later on, a year later. This dude Anton came right in. I met him at the shoot. Great guy. I met him at the premiere of the movie. Great guy. And I met him at South Jersey Geek Fest. And that was basically my only real interaction with him. I wish I got to know the guy a little better. But Anton, rest in peace. You'll always be part of the Dark Military family. And with that, we're going to move on. Any questions that people would like to ask, feel free to drop them, and I'll start sliding those things through. Meanwhile, I got Kyle B. Thompson, Joe Garofalo, and then we're going to go into my buddy, one of my wrestling guys, Hackett. He's a great dude. He's a commentator. You'll see. I'll play you something when that bit comes up. But right now, feel free for everybody to drop those questions and those comments. And meanwhile, I am going to go into tell me about your project. And that will be with the great Joe Garofalo, who I'm going to bring in right now. Joe Garofalo.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, man?
Brother, I'm so happy you're on the show, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hell yes, dude. How you doing?
I'm good, you know, hanging in there, playing Nintendo.
Nintendo, you say? Joe, I had something so cool here set up. Let me see if I could figure out how to do this. Bear with me, humans. Bear with me. Joe, this is how professional I am. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, I'm technically, it's not in Clerks 3.
I get you, but this is why I brought you on here. So I've known you. We've known each other about 10 years. You appeared in my film, The Dark Military, and you've always been my main you were one of my original help desk guys when I got in. Were asking a million questions. I didn't know where to go, so I always like to repay. And for as far as you go, I know recently that you had a hand in Clerks 3, and I know a lot of people love the Kevin Smith universe. So tell everybody what you did.
Well, all right. Well, okay. Once again, it's not in the movie itself, the thing that I'm doing.
Okay. All right.
It's part of it. It ties into it from what I understand. I haven't done it yet. He's a busy guy. I'm sure I will hear from him soon.
Okay.
but it is a claymation short involving Jay and Silent Bob.
That's
So,
pretty freaking awesome.
written by him, which is cool. I think it's something deleted from the movie itself that I'm going to be animating. If I'm to understand correctly, that's what it is.
Awesome, awesome, brother. So, how did you even get into this whole claymation thing?
I was bored, and I always liked claymation. Like, I loved the California Raisins growing up. They were like, I still do. It's weird. I have a thing for anthropomorphic fruit. It's bizarre.
Liquid television.
I always liked it, so I figured, I would try it, and I knew the basics because I went to film school and stuff. So I just did it, and then I met Kevin Smith, and he saw the first thing I ever did and was like, "Dude, how much would you charge for this?" And I was like, I didn't show him to like, hey, man, like so I was just caught off guard. I was like, I don't know. But he hired me to do a couple things, and I wound up making his Wake and Bake intro on his That Kevin Smith Club. I love the dude, and it's just really cool to be a part of anything he asks. I'm like, yeah, dude, I got you. So
good.
Yeah.
So, but I saw Kevin actually posted something from you guys. Like I remember he did. He went live. So what exactly did he post?
Oh, I said, can you make a video for my wife telling her that we're actually working together? Because I don't think she believes me. And he was like, hey, man, it's legit. He's doing this thing for the movies, and he made my Wake and Bake. He's like, he's not having an affair. He's working with me. That's what he said. That's the thing that he posted about that.
Okay, yeah, because dude, I was so happy for you. 'Cause I know how big of a fan you are of him, of his universe. Like, I know he was a big inspiration to you.
I used to do monologues from his movies when I was like 13 years old. It was weird because I'd go in there and be like, one time my cousin Walter got this cat stuck in his ass, and I'm like a 13-year-old saying this stuff it was bizarre.
Is that the best opening dialogue ever to a movie?
Maybe.
Yeah. Talk about like getting your attention rather quickly,
Yeah, I have something else to announce,
Please do it.
I'm doing another short claymation short of Jackrabbit, the character that I created. And Dean Bahar is going to do a voice. We recorded the audio yesterday. He was Squeak in Basketball and Chota Boy and Orgasmo.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I asked him if he would do it. He said yes. So we recorded the audio. He sent it over to me. I'm really he's playing this guy.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Joe.
Bob.
How did you actually? Because dude, when I first saw you like in this world, how do you even know about going about doing that? Like, is it like what made you actually do it? Like how did you have to like go to any classes and all that stuff, or did you just kind of wing this?
I just winged it.
Wow.
To be honest, I really did. Well, a lot of it was YouTube tutorials, and like I went to film school. I knew the basic principles of stop motion, so I knew how to basics of it. I'm still learning. It's not like I know everything.
Of course,
everything I'm doing, I'm like, oh, and I try to make each one a little bit technically better. I try. But yeah, dude, I literally taught. Well, I say taught myself, but really, the people on YouTube taught me. So YouTube is a very.
I've always said, man, Google and YouTube taught me more than my entire schooling, like together. You know what I mean? Because you just it's amazing, how that changed the world. It really did.
Yeah, I just literally when I wanted to do it, I was like, all right. I built my things. I looked on YouTube on how to build the puppets, and they're not perfect. Like I hate the hands and stuff. I got to keep working on things, but like, you just keep doing it, and you just get a little better at it each time. I hope.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, brother, I know I'm kind of just doing quick segments here.
Yeah, man.
But Joe, you're my boy, dude. And for anyone who's ever going to work, I always kind of talk about my history. Again, this is one of the first guys I ever met. I knew this guy was genuine. You're one of my original help desks. So
Well,
Yeah.
thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for the kind words. And yeah, man. And
Yeah, dude. This is the part where we say goodbye.
all right, man.
Joe Garofalo, I will say goodbye and leave you with all hail Joe Garofalo.
Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
So, yes. Hello, Melanie. Good evening. Good evening. Where did I go? All right. Question I have is where. Okay. Brian's reviews. Question I have is where did you film the original DM and will? I'm sorry. I like to slur my words, so I get one of these. Okay. Question. All right. So where the location? Okay. So Brian, we filmed this all in South Jersey. Basically, yes. Almost. Let's see. Three locations. We filmed in Mount Laurel, where we did the entire police station scenes. The entire Dark Military Woods was shot up in Franklinville, as well as the cook's kitchen, as well as the parking lot scenes. Where the Dark Military characters, the Prey get together. That was in Clayton. That was 2 miles down the road from where we filmed in Franklinville. And the terrorist scene was shot at the Fright Factory in Philadelphia, where Terrifier 2 was shot. I helped get that in there. So, yeah, I hooked those guys up in 2 seconds with that. We could spend all day on Terrifier as well. What else we got here? Thanks, Jane. Jane, you can't text me at 6 a.m. when I'm at work. Okay, I always love your support. But all right, Kyle B. Thompson is not here. Kyle, if you get this, I have to bump you a little bit later. But I'm sorry. Kyle, I sent that link to the wrong person. Kyle, get in here. I just linked you up now. Sorry, buddy. That was a Loren error. I'm trying to do too much here. So, yeah. Well, actually, while I'm getting ready to bring Kyle in, I am going to welcome to the show my buddy Hackett, Patrick Hackett. I'm going to bring you on, buddy.
What's going on, Loren? It's the first time I get to interrupt your show.
Oh my gosh, yes, it did.
Yeah. So now it's time for the Hackett show.
Oh my gosh, yes. So everybody gets a freaking guitar riff when they come on my show.
I love
it.
It's
I don't play around here. I got to be different here. All right, so let me see.
Oh no!
I'm going to show everybody.
This is bad.
This is all from my wrestling era here. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're gonna go. A lot of people. Yep. All right. So bear with me. I can see why two people. This is like a 2-man job here.
Yeah, running a board and doing a show and hosting, it's really tough. That's why I just come on and try and be talent. I don't have to do anything. I just come and talk. I can do that for hours. It's,
Yeah, but
somebody would like to feed a donkey veggie sticks. I don't know if that's a euphemism or.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. Boom. I am totally screwing this freaking show up.
That's all right. It's your first time going live. Going live is hard. It's not easy, Yeah. You're talking about your movie projects, which is insane for me to think about, that somebody that I was running in the ring with is making films, not only starring in them, but acting, directing, casting. It's incredible.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I did so. It's crazy because our era, for everybody who doesn't know, so I was in the wrestling business from 1999 until about beginning of 2004. And, one thing about this is myself and the guy I managed, Garrett Dominance, we had a heavy tie to the ECW wrestling. That does not mean by any way when I say that I was believing Garrett and I were going to get into ECW, but the fact that we had some connections there, we did some light work there. I worked for a promoter that worked for ECW, so I was technically his help. I was never employed by ECW. I never spoke a word to Paul Heyman in my entire life. But what it really came down to was we had our foot in the back porch, and then all of a sudden WCW and ECW fall at the same time.
Yep.
And there you are. You're running around in indies. And I'll kind of run around like with my heart cut out of my chest that entire time. I mean,
Yeah.
I loved what we did.
Yeah.
I loved meeting you and everything, dude. Those were good times.
Lifelong friends. Lifelong friends.
Without a doubt, dude. It was crazy. But, you make the best of what you got. Plus, to top it off, in my case, I wasn't exactly, I wasn't a wrestler. I was more of a wrestling manager. So when it came down to it, they weren't hiring managers. So they wanted hot divas.
Yeah.
So even if Garrett got in, I most likely wasn't.
I was
going.
actually just thinking about our time and how an absolutely drop dead gorgeous woman made me turn heel for a match. I don't know if you remember this. He had a very Greek name, Demetrius.
Oh, yeah, the dinosaur.
Yeah, he was gigantic.
Yes.
He was huge. And his valet was drop dead gorgeous. And he was part of your faction, the family, which routinely beat me up repeatedly every show. And I was like, I really don't care. I am in my early 20s, and she is, my wife's not listening. I might be talking too loud. She is one of the most beautiful women I've ever laid eyes on. I'm all about Demetrius, Darius. It was something very
it was something like that. Like he was so muscular he couldn't really wrestle. He was one of those guys, if I remember right.
Yeah. He couldn't really bump, but just came out there. And I mean, when you have a building that small and a ring that small and a crowd, like, he's larger than life in that situation.
Yeah. And I just knew Rick had an idea of the Loren show. I had the idea of the Loren show. I wanted to do a full, like, Rowdy Piper's Pit sort of thing. I actually wanted to do, like, Loren's Love Den, where I wanted to bring couches and have divas and stuff hang around. And I really wanted a Piper's Pit. I was obsessed with Rowdy Piper.
He's one of the greatest of all time. It's a good person to be obsessed with.
But, a lot of the indie people, they had all these crazy ideas, like, of longevity. And in my head, I'm like, none of these ever last like past 10 shows. It's hard. It's hard to stay afloat being an indie person. It just
absolutely.
is in wrestling.
I think my biggest strength in the professional wrestling business was to know what my limits were. I got to do a lot in Philadelphia. I did some in Delaware, some in Jersey. And when I came back from college, I did all this when I was in college. I was in Connecticut with very few connections and found my way into the indies. And man, I made like a 20+ year career ring announcing, commentating. I've seen some of the best that, came up to WWE, came up to NXT and got to be like, oh, that ref you see in the ring at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I got to manage him for a show. So, awesome. It's connections upon connections, but I knew I wasn't good in the ring. I learned that very quickly, but I could bump and I could sell.
Yep.
And I can talk, and you can put a mic in front of me and I'll give you, 20, 30 minutes. And to talking about the end of ECW, the one good thing was all of a sudden, every single indie in the area was rife with ECW talent. So all these people that you really looked up to are suddenly sharing a locker room with you. That was the only cool part of it. Everything else kind of terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy because, like, dude, I was backstage. I was like the fly on the wall and stuff. Like, I got to see so many wild ECW moments. I mean, it was an amazing locker room, but, like, a lot of people didn't realize, like, New Jack's my origin into wrestling. Yes, New Jack, and it was a 51st dates sort of thing. It was that one day that he got me. It was the night before WrestlePalooza when Jerry Lawler was supposed to show up at the ECW arena.
God.
So that was
what a hot time.
Yeah. So it was June 6th. They were in Scranton. June 7th, they're at the ECW arena. So I'm in Scranton. I've never been to Philly, and I just started getting into hardcore, so I started getting more, more confidence. But when you said Philly, New York, Chicago, all I thought of was Judgment Night. That's all I ever thought of. Like, don't go there. I mean, you don't know where you're going. You're going to end up, So that was just like my main fear. And I kept hearing the boys were going out in Scranton to this club called Tinks. So I went there. I met New Jack, and New Jack had the rec sports jacket on, that they had at that time. And he was really, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, to everyone he met, really laid back. And so I'm hanging out with him. So it's like 12 other people, we're just kind of feeling this guy. And he goes, the end of the night, I was like, really nice meeting you. And he's like, well, that's not it, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you coming to the arena tomorrow? And I'm like, that's a 2-hour drive. It's probably sold out. He's like, you're on the guest list and you're not going.
Wow.
And I said, stupid, like a kid. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, how am I on the guest list? So who put me on the? He's like, do you want to get that to the show?
Yeah.
So New Jack gave me his pager number, which I still have written down.
I still have Mikey Whipwreck's phone number written down somewhere.
And then I gave it to him, and so he gave me his number. I said, thank you. The next day, I page him and say who I am again, and I'm coming down with my one friend, and we got to the arena, and we missed the first match. And I walked in, and it was like a freaking mosh pit of freaking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And Debbie Beaumont's there, who I didn't know were any of these people at the time. And I was like, we're on New Jack's list, and she's just like I don't think she even – I could have been anybody. She's like, go on in. And I'm like, sit. Where do I sit? She's like, find a spot. I was like, okay. So we ended up in the worst spot in the house, kind of by where they come out. And I waited for the show to end. And he came out. He was signing autographs for kids. Only seemed to be like young kids. And I went up to him and I was like, yo! And he stopped and he stared at me.
Oh, man. Oh, like, the worst.
Oh, and I was like, this is going to be one long ride. One long freaking ride, man. And it was crazy because no conversations with the guy. And oddly enough, Vic Grimes moves into 2 apartments down from me for a skip for ECW. So, yeah, that Living Dangerously, when Vic Grimes and New Jack went off
when New Jack tried to murder him, as he's admitted
to. No, not next PW. What set up the first one.
Oh, right.
I drove up with Vic. I was Vic's guest at that event. Yeah, so I kind of got a cool, it was not cool. No, they got hurt, but
no.
Yeah, but like I was there for that, and oddly enough, Vic drove us up. Vic drove us back. Like Vic was completely freaking fine with that. Like just he's Herman Munster. You just can't hurt him. You can drop a piano on his head. Like it was
everybody has a New Jack story. If you're in the business in this area, I found my way to New Jack on a train. I was actually coming down to Philly. I was done working there. I was still working in Connecticut, and I get on the train, and I am. The person I was working for was very good friends with Jason Knight. And Jason was part of our company. So I texted Perona. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just walked by New Jack. And he's like, you have to talk to him. I'm like, the hell I have to talk to New Jack. I'm not talking to that man. He terrifies me. So then Jason gets on the phone, and I was very scared of Jason as well. He's small but very frightening. And Jason's like, you got to talk to Jack. And I'm like, come on. So I go, hey, Mr. New Jack. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, well, I'm friends with Jason Knight, and he told me to give you his number. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing in Connecticut? He's like, oh, I'm coming back from Cronus's funeral.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. No, I went and sat as far as humanly possible from him after I exchanged information with Jason Knight. And he was an absolute gentleman and didn't even care that I was bothering him, but it was a scary experience.
Yeah, dude, I totally believe that. So, brother, I have something amazing to show you and this audience.
I don't want to see this.
Everybody get ready for this one.
Cujo is a disgrace. That's right, Cujo. Cujo is not a disgrace. Cujo is our world champion. Show that man some
He's
respect.
your world champion. I don't recognize him.
He is the world champion of CWF, and he is probably one of the best workers in this business. What does he want?
And
See
here
over
comes
here.
my good buddy Loren.
Yes, I said something about you, Garrett.
Bye-bye, Hackett. Bye-bye. Hit him again, please. Could you do something with this?
Friend of mine.
Thank you. Loren, it's nice to see you.
Hello.
No,
All right,
your
well.
mom is.
We're going back on here.
We're going back on. Now, what was the cause for that?
It's time. You've been a part of this before. It's time for a Loren show.
It's my favorite time of the year.
Yes,
the
it
Loren
is.
show.
Can I turn the damn channel?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I never knew when you were coming. It was just you showed up. I'm like, oh, I guess this is what's happening.
Yep. And you would always take a huge bump into the chairs, and it was always set up that you were going to wrestle me, and it never happened. And I knew it was never going to happen.
I got one match in the area finally. Finally got a match. Shaka, my dude Shaka just got out of jail in New Zealand, thankfully, and is back stateside.
What happened?
Whole ordeal there, but I don't want to.
All right, another time.
He's out, and he brought me and one of the guys I helped break into the business. I think you know him, Winky Lexington. He's been around here, and so we got to tag me and Shaka against him and the former Brickwall Bradley at that point in time, Chris Crude.
Yeah,
and that is my one match, and it is horrendous. Horrendous. One of the worst things.
Gotcha, brother.
Yeah.
Pat, I'm going to get you back on another time, dude. But
all right, absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, dude. I definitely just want to, catch up. I'm just trying to do a variety show because there's a lot of chapters of my life. So I just wanted to share them with everybody.
Absolutely. So. I'm glad to be one of those chapters, man.
All right, brother.
All right. Keep up the good work.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Kyle B.
I like to even. I didn't realize it was gonna happen that fast, man.
I know. Look at that, dude.
What's up, man? How are you?
Kyle B. Thompson from Red Light Films. Welcome to my show.
Yeah, this is awesome, dude. This is the first time I'm catching this, man. This is a pretty sick setup you got going on here.
Yeah,
I've been,
dude,
reading these comments going on here. This is some pretty funny
dude. I change my background all the time and everything. Yeah, I try to have fun with it, man. But when we do the podcast normally, I have a particular guest. We go for a long time, but in this case, just want to do a variety show, a little this and that, and get people on. And you're definitely a guy that you're one of the Philly people that constantly pumping out films, and you're always good to my event, Freedom Shorts and Liberty Massacre. So I thought you should be on. Is what I thought.
Thanks, man. Like super cool, man. I loved your events, man. Those things were fun. I'm hoping the Trocadero at some point makes a return, but I don't know.
You know what, man? For with everything going on, I just don't know. And to top it all off, like AEG and Live Nation, they've got like 3 different venues each now. Like you kind of don't need that one. It's the oldest that needs to get upgraded. So, I hope because I just love that building. I worked there for like 12, 13 years. So, I mean, it's a big part of my life. I just love music. I didn't work there for money. That's for sure. You know? So
it's an awesome venue. I remember playing in a band years ago, and we actually played there in like 2008. I was like a kid, but it's a pretty cool venue. I love that venue, man.
Yeah.
But we're actually doing a screening at Philomoka.
I know. It's the 17th of March. I marked it down.
Yeah, which is super exciting. I haven't been there since your event, matter of fact.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I got a few events after that, but we'll see.
Nice.
But so, dude, tell my audience about what projects you got going on right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. We which is actually the event at Philomoka. So we have a film coming out called Parrot that drops March 17th. It premieres at Philomoka. So if anyone's watching this and wants to come hang out with a bunch of filmmakers and just a cool after party at the Trestle Inn. But yeah, the film's about it's about a drag queen story hour. If you aren't familiar with those, it's basically a drag queen protects a child during an active shooter threat. So the trailer, parrotmovie.com or redflightpictures.com. I forget where the trailer's at, but if you look that up, you can probably find it somewhere on there. But yeah, it comes out March 17th, Philomoka. It's going to be a cool event, and super excited to hope you come out, man. It'd be great to grab a beer with you.
Hell yeah, dude. So what's it been like as far as like getting distribution and actually getting your money back?
Yeah, it's tricky, man. Like, so I think, right, short films are I think anyone who makes a short film you're not getting your money back. So
no,
be very careful with your spending on that. But
that's more of a passion thing. Like it's a stepping stone. It's a passion thing.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think it also like for us, like our company, we do we're also a big post house. So we do commercials and feature films and editing wise and color grading and correction. Like we do with a whole sound studio as well. So a lot of these projects sort of lead to working with other clients, which has been a lot of fun, which also allows us to do these really cool events, like for like Parrot, it's coming out. So like, it allows us to do that passion project and also meet some new people on the way. So for a distribution standpoint of view, it's, short films there's more and more avenues coming out with those. I know HBO is now starting to bring out some from short films on their platform, and you're going to see Netflix starting to do that now. So you're going to start to see more
on HBO Max. They're going to actually start screening short films.
They actually have one on right now. It's actually a film that I met the director out in Fort Myers for the Fort Myers Beach International Film Festival. She has a short film on there right now called At Last, so which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I think more distribution short films are going to you'll see more of those platforms coming out, which will be kind of cool.
Wow. So, I mean, so is there anybody watching? Where would anyone be able to see your films at the moment? Are you still working on that in process?
I mean, so you can see there's a film called The Boy Hero that's on Prime, and I think it's on Vimeo too. If anyone goes to redflightpictures.com, or I think I try to put my like Instagram handle on here. I don't know if it went away, but at Kyle B. Thompson, I usually throw links up on my Instagram.
Yeah, that's got to go through me, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think redflightpictures.com, you could probably see a whole bunch of films on there. But Parrot, again, you can see it March 17th at the Philomoka premiere, and then it starts to do its festival tour shortly before that. So,
gotcha. All right, Brian. Well, I mean, so what else we got to look forward to in the year of 2022 for Red Flight?
Yeah, dude, it's hard, man. It's like with COVID and everything was sort of put a big, I'm sure every filmmaker on this or yourself.
What I said at the very beginning of the show, I kind of gave a state of world address of where I was the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's like, that sort of, and we shot Parrot in the middle of like the pandemic. Like I think we shot it January of last year, like it was like peaking and there was like no sort of vaccine or anything along those lines. So it was a pretty big risk for us. And we had extras on the city of Philadelphia. We had like 30 extras on set with us, which was crazy. So we had to follow these crazy restrictions that
were they walking with like a 6-foot board between them and like
no, it was
joust each other when they got too close.
No, we had, because there's one of the scenes in the film are these protesters out front. We filmed it at the FOMO Free Library in Philadelphia, and we had these protesters all out front. We had maybe 15, 20 of them. We were surprised that we were going to get that many people to come out to do the film in the middle of a pandemic, and we required testing. Like everyone had to have testing, rapid negative test beforehand. They had to wear masks until we were filming, but they were also like chanting outside, like so they were pretty in close proximity. And thankfully, we didn't have any major outbreak cases. But I think now that we're starting to see sort of the light at the end of the tunnel with the pandemic, hopefully we'll get some more films running. We shot 3 films last year, even in the pandemic, that we're still in post for right now. And then Parrot is the one that's sort of popping its head out first. So this will be an interesting ride. And we're just starting the film festival tour now. We got Asbury Park coming up, in Garden State Film Festival. We'll be in Media Film Festival, which I've never been to yet, so that'll be kind of exciting to check out. So
yeah, I've been hearing about the Media one too, and the Yeah. Garden State, I believe, was in Atlantic City, and now it's in Asbury. So
I think it was started in Asbury, and then it was in Atlantic City, and I think it went back to Asbury. But yeah, we played there March 27th, so that'd be a fun little gig. I haven't been there in a long time, so it's excited to be traveling again and getting this up and running. So
gotcha.
Yeah, man.
Bri, well, Kyle, the most important thing is the audience wants to know is when's Loren going to be in one of your films?
I know, dude. Listen, the last 2 ones I had to. You don't fit the drag queen.
You sure?
Well, I don't know, maybe. It's actually really funny, man. The posters behind me, I think that's the film you came on audition for with us like 8 years ago.
Oh my gosh,
I think it is. Which it's weird. That also played at Philomoka. Like it came out in 2013, and yeah, I think that's the first time we met you. That or it was the film over here. It's one of these 2 feature films that we did years ago. That's when I think we first met. But yeah, hopefully, man, once a part comes up, but we'll have to figure that out and get you in one of these films. It's a long time coming for sure.
Yeah, Kyle. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Of course, man. Nice
all right, brother. Well, all right, brother. Have a good one.
You too. See ya.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna bring on our next guest. Feel free to comment. Everybody could get in on this. Meanwhile, I will bring in from the movie Hideout, Brian Emright.
Hey, what's up, Loren? Can you hear me?
What's going on? Yeah, Brian, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Can you hear your theme song?
No.
No, you can't. Okay.
I can't hear.
Bad air.
It's all good.
There you go.
I have a theme song?
Like that?
I fucking love it.
You deserve that.
Absolutely.
I
What
didn't
is that?
steal that. I had no way, shape, or form stole that from the movie Wild at Heart.
I was about to say, was that Wild at Heart?
Yeah, I just always loved that riff.
One of the best Cage movies
I'm
out
always
there.
watching these things. I'm like, we need some more, some more flick, pizzazz involved in all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah, dude. We always need pizzazz.
Yeah. So Brian, tell the audience about what you're currently working on, and I know the main movie that you would like to be talking about in a moment or two, but go for it. Floor is yours.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Loren. It's always a pleasure. Currently working on a movie called The Home, starring Pete Davidson. Just got cast in that.
Did you get near his penis at all? Because he's been doing really good.
Well, I haven't yet because I will be there on
Thanks, Anthony.
later this week. But this will be the second time I worked with Pete Davidson, so he's a nice guy. But other than that, I was just in Adam Sandler's Hustle, which is going to be a Netflix movie, and I was a mascot in that movie doing some cartwheels and stunts, and it's a big role. So I can't wait for that to come out on Netflix. And then of course Hideout. Hideout is all over now. We shot it during COVID 2020, back before vaccines. So everyone just kind of had to take tests and beforehand. And we got there, we kind of quarantined at the place we were shooting at. And we took tests almost every day to make sure none of us had the COVID. And we shot a horror movie in 2 weeks.
So for filmmakers out there, one thing about what we should let them know is Hideout's a very small cast, which is a really smart thing to do. Unlike, my movie where, at 1 million people in it. And I'm now like trying
fighting
to
each other, right?
Yeah. Like I don't think, not going off cue here, but what I'm trying to do with the Dark Military too is I'm really sitting here and I literally pieced together a whole new movie for the sequel, and it really cuts a lot of what I had out. What I would probably only need about 30 to 40 people compared to the 200 I want to go to. I really wanted that. I wanted choppers. I wanted to really swing for the fences here, but I can't afford it. I can't afford any breakout whatsoever. Everybody's different, less people the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And hopefully that'll all change very soon, depending on, where the world decides to go. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But tonight's not about politics. Tonight's about awesome indie films, horror movies, and of course, me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're all about the Brian Emright. Yes. Any horror movie fans out there, feel free to jump in on any questions whatsoever. We're hearing all that. But so you were with the Horror Syndicate for a little while. Now you're over here. Now you're actually a full-time actor, giving it your all. You used to review movies.
Yeah, and I stopped doing that. If I wanted to get into this industry, I think
You had to. You did the right thing.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny now because now that I'm in a movie coming out, I see people reviewing that movie, Hideout, and I'm just like, oh my God, is this really the world that we live in? It's crazy. There's lots of things going on. I feel like all the content right now is going to streaming platforms. Like, there's no movie that shows in movie theaters that is going to do pretty well unless it's a Marvel movie or the occasional Quentin Tarantino movie. Or I don't even know if slapstick comedies are doing that great anymore.
No. When was the last comedy that you heard blew everything out of the water? Like it's a household, like
in theaters?
Theaters. Like, it's that bad in my eyes. It's that bad.
I think Pineapple Express. I don't know. I mean, of course, I did see Cats at the theaters with Steve Carino, and
yes, I heard you guys had a great time at that.
Yeah, we were laughing. We didn't get the version where the cats were showing their buttholes. I think they scrubbed the buttholes out the week that we went to go see that in the theaters. But I was looking forward to the butthole edition of Cats. Except James Corden. I don't want to see his.
What's funny? I like musicals a lot. I've always, and when Cats came on, it was available for free. I'm checking this out, and after about 19 minutes, cause I'm not a big fan of like that and Tommy, like where there's no dialogue at all. It's just continuing. But I didn't know what was going on. I was like, they look great. It's shot great. But I couldn't follow what was happening. I was like,
no one knows what the fucking cats were rambling about.
Yeah.
Andrew Lloyd Webber. Here's some music, and it's the 80s. Enjoy. But yeah, I think that was like the last movie I saw in theaters, and I would probably consider that a comedy. But yeah, comedy, they're not doing well in theaters. Everything's going to streaming now. Like, there's no room for the theaters, like especially movies like Hideout. It's going to have a hard time in the theaters, but it did pretty good in the festival circuit. Because it's more of a niche crowd than your just average, public moviegoer. But public moviegoers don't want to spend money to go to movie theaters to see like indie films. They want to see fucking Spider-Man, where they get all the Spider-Man characters together in one movie and fight old villains. Like, that was like, I wouldn't be surprised if that wins Academy Awards, like the movie Ass from Idiocracy.
Yeah, I've always said. I don't know. I had some weird random thought today because I had too much free time at work. But I was picturing taking Thanos out of Infinity War and Endgame and replace him with Magatu from Zoolander.
You might as well.
I just think it would be awesome. It'd just be
a
cool one.
Have Will Ferrell play all the characters. No,
yeah, 100%. But can you see him having dialogue in that character? I think it'd be like the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, no, I would love to see something like that, at least something with originality. But we're not getting that. But the streaming platforms are doing pretty fine. You have new content all the time on Netflix, on Amazon, on Hulu, on like the cheaper channels. Like I think Tubi's free, right? Tubi's still free.
Tubi's free, but it's owned by Fox now. So that's why if you go on, you see all their news outlets. Like, and if you really looked, I went on Tubi for the first time this past weekend, and I saw a lot of movies that like better movies, like household name movies than I've ever seen before.
Oh, no shit.
Like, I saw some Quentin Tarantino stuff in there. I'm like, okay, like they're going to start making original content. They already said it, because if you think about Pluto TV, I think, is ABC.
Mhm.
Peacock's NBC. Tubi's Fox. So everybody needs a streaming outlet now.
Yeah.
You know, Hulu's Fox, or Fox and CBS, you know, I'm kind of mixed there, but like you got to have that now. And in a small way, they're the savior of our movies like yours and mine, because those commercials, when we sit there on Tube and we watch it, that's, you know, commercial gets played, Tubi gets money, we get money.
Yeah.
It's crazy. In a way, it's a savior, but at the same time, when it comes down to it, like how much are they really playing? You know?
No, 100%. And if it's free, you know, people are going to see it even
Joe
more.
Grifflo, this is all you. You can Cat's Claymation.
Cat's Claymation.
Yeah,
that would take a lot of work. I think probably a lot more work than removing the buttholes in CGI off of cats. Yeah, Claymation.
Because cats don't have buttholes. You know, we never see that when they're
Not in
walking
the
all
movie.
happy with the tail boner. You know?
Unless it's James Gordon, who is a butthole. You know, itself. Every time he opens his mouth, shit comes out. But yeah, I mean, like, I love you know, seeing all this originality, you know, come out to the streaming platforms, because that's what everyone's doing. You know, no one has fucking time to watch a movie anymore either. It's in
pieces. You watch a movie in pieces now. You know what I mean? It's one thing cool about like your streaming outlet holds the movie the exact same spot that you left it. So sometimes like 13 minutes, 20 minutes, 8 minutes, and before you know it, you've been watching the same 90-minute movie for a week before you finally finish it.
Well, I mean, this is how older movies survived. Like, they would show on TV. Like, we didn't have any access to like knowing what's going to come on next back in the day. We had a TV guide, and like, you know, movies are just coming out. You could pick and choose what you want to watch. But back in the day, like, it was a shown, and you watched it, and you watched the whole thing too. And even going to video stores, if you were going to a video store, you were looking at what cover sold the most. You took it home and you spent money on it, and you watched the whole movie. Nowadays, no one watches more than maybe like 20 minutes of a movie, and then all of a sudden it sucks, low budget, bad acting, and it's like every movie, it's just like bad acting.
Well, I mean, when it really comes down to it, like that's where I have beef with. I don't understand things that work, like this particular thing.
Evil Dies Tonight.
That really happened.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Yeah. Feel free. Everybody could chime in on this one, but it's crazy because I look at, even though there hasn't been a Friday the 13th or a Jason, or a Freddy in over a decade, I just look at it as they're owned by the major studios. You're on the slot. We're going to do a Friday the 13th. We're going to do a Halloween. We're also going to make this comedy over here. We're going to make this action movie over here. And I just think they write the script for this, but they don't understand the character. They don't understand the history. They don't understand. They're insulting the fans. And I'm always wondering, like, you know, I know you're a big person who likes Halloween 2018. Like myself, I absolutely hated it. I hate Evil Dies Tonight. But I always think the studios they know horror fans have to see it almost out of an ego thing of like, I got to go and give my feedback after. And when we're done, I will rate all the Halloweens in a row the way I like them. And even though no one asked that, every time I see a list of that, Star Wars, the Marvel movies, the DC movie, they're like, this is my least the greatest. And I'm like, I didn't care. I don't care.
That's the thing. Everyone's got a review nowadays. And to the people that are out there, I just want to say to you that no one reads your Letterboxd reviews. There's so many of them out there. You know, compared to the regular comment or the content that's coming out in like movies. Halloween Kills, I don't, it was not a good movie. I liked the 2018 version only because it was like, wow, we haven't seen Laurie Strode fight back like this before.
You know,
that was
Brian, for what comes to Michael Myers, I love the character. The first two movies to me are like the most amazing, you know, glory days, you know, total glory days. But at the same time, I'm a big Part 4 fan. I like the whole, the whole Jamie Lloyd character. I really do. But at the same time, Part 4 to me is really where it ended. I kind of have a favoritism for Part 5 because the continuance of 4, but there's a lot of problems with Part 5.
Yeah.
And then once he's getting beat up by Busta Rhymes, like come on here. And I kind of think they're just insulting the horror fans with what they're throwing out there now. I don't want to see an old man without the mask. I think that killed it as identity to me. He looked like a janitor. I'm not scared of a janitor. I didn't like the whole idea in 18, like the whole, we're podcasters. We'd like a murder evidence from the Myers kill. And we're going to go to an asylum whose job is to keep people calm. They're going to let them in. Sure. We want to rile up like the notorious killer. And they said, sure, come on in.
Yeah.
And then they don't even shove it in his face. They yell at him from behind and don't even face him. I was out there and I blew a microchip. I saw the movie. I don't remember it at all. And then the Halloween Kills trailer, I was like, this actually looks good. The trailer was tight.
Yeah.
Tight trailer. And I gave them some rope and they hung themselves with it. That's the way I get. I love the flashback to the 1978, but you kind of basically said within 5 minutes, Dr. Loomis missed him 6 times. Or if he shot him 6 times, I don't see 6 bullet holes.
Yeah.
And Michael kills another cop. And then that cop shoots him 3 more times, but misses. So I just like to say, Haddonfield cops for 12 movies can't hit a slow-moving target. I just have to point that out.
I you know what? It just felt like a really bad remake of the original Halloween 2 from 1981. And like with her being like helpless in the hospital while chaos ensues, like it just felt like a really bad remake of that movie. But
it did, and I mean it had some moments like all films do, but I was just, there was so many, like, you don't want to do Monday morning quarterback stuff, but there was a lot of problems, and I was like, you made a whole movie where Michael Myers doesn't want to chase Laurie Strode. And anyway, this part was he didn't go after her at all. He just went home. That's basically it. And Laurie Strode got an operation, got in a fist fight.
Yeah.
And somehow, from the house burning down in 2018, which I don't know the time, like, okay, it was definitely dark. So it had to be, 9, 10 o'clock maybe, when she left the house on fire. So the surgery, the evil dies tonight. It's got to be after midnight. What Wi-Fi download went into Laurie Strode's head? That she, at the end of the movie, she goes, if we only knew. What information did she get with another injured cop sitting next to her that she knows everything about Michael at this particular moment? I want to know what happened.
I'm surprised you remember that much because I stopped paying attention. I don't know. I just stopped paying attention. There was a lot of violence that I was like, cool, blood, yes. And then it was just like,
yeah, you gotta
where
give
are
it
we
the
going?
brutal thing. And,
Brutality wise, it was good for a Halloween movie. Story wise, I had no idea what was going on.
Story wise, was that Danny McBride? Did he write that one too?
I believe he did. And the thing that sucks is that you have all these fucking remakes and sequels coming out. Like, they just announced another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie coming out for Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's harder and harder to make indie content anymore. Like, there's a niche for it where you have, like, supporters, friends, and people who are also filmmakers in this industry that are supporting each other. But, when you have an indie movie and then you get like a major distribution, it's really hard to convince people to watch the product because the people are critics. Everyone's a critic nowadays. Like I said before, with everyone, the oversaturation of like reviews on IMDb and Letterboxd and Rotten Tomatoes. No one reads them. Like, people just like venting because they have a voice on these websites. But like, they always go after like indie films because it's like they come out and they have like a target on their back, and it's just like, come after me. And but we have a great support system here in Indie World. What you're doing is great, bringing on guests to talk about their indie films. You have an indie film,
yeah,
on the
yeah,
promoting
two
for
of
a long
them,
time.
so yeah, it's crazy.
And,
so
always been supporting that. And yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, if people really want to say something about a movie, they should try making their own. Or like, you know, if they're tired of watching the same remake after sequel, they should try making their own. Like
Yeah.
the equipment's there. You can
The
buy a
equipment's
camera.
there, and you pick
Yeah.
up. You could write out anything you want. So if you have a problem and you've always wanted to see a movie like this, it's up to you. Go make this.
Yeah.
You got the access.
Yeah.
But we've got also on deck, Brian. I'm going to bring another guest in here.
Oh
Okay,
shit.
that join our party.
Oh shit.
Josh and Sarah Schultz are here. Look at this. Hold on. You get your music. Everyone gets one.
We were all in a movie together.
Yes.
Love it.
Thank you.
It's like that sweet WWE entrance music.
Yeah, except that's Wild at Heart with David Lynch. That's that. I stole that guitar riff. So,
Nice. Hopefully you guys can hear us all right. I
can hear you guys. I can hear both of you completely fine.
All right.
So welcome. Say hello to Brian Enright.
What's up, Brian?
Hello, Brian Enright.
Yes, this is Josh and Sarah Schultz from one of my short films, COVID 2024, and they've also been in a sea of other things, which also, I guess, the Haunted Honeymooners. Is this your new? Is that just like fun name, or is that your next project, your current project?
So actually, the Haunted Honeymooners is something that we started a few years back. We started shooting episodes for it, staying at haunted locations, ghost hunting, doing a bunch of crazy stuff. We've got a whole series that's kind of on deck, just waiting to be released. And we've been teasing people for over a year now, but we're really trying to find the right place to release it and just make sure it's done correctly. But yeah, so that's kind of another one of our projects that we work on.
Awesome. So yeah, we were kind of I don't know if you were hearing what me and Brian were talking about. We're kind of just talking about like the state of horror movies, and in a small way, it's kind of has that like our horror movie fan suckers in a small way. The way they're just consuming all the Halloween movies one after another, and you know, Brian and I were talking about how they're not really done by horror people. They're not bringing real people who know the character in. And then we get Jamie Lee fighting Michael for the 6th time in diapers. Where's this all going? And I'm rather still scared for if New Line, Paramount, between two of them, when they release like the next Friday the 13th, like, are they going to try to pull the like, we're going to stop the franchise at number 3 and we're going to do something? I don't know. Or is Jason going to start talking? Who the hell knows with these people in charge? They're scared of crap.
Imagine that if he just ripped his mask off in the middle and goes, "Evil dies tonight."
Look at Jason Takes Manhattan at the end of that. Like, was he speaking or was that in his mind? I don't know, but you know,
for sure.
But you know, I don't know where our industry is going. Obviously, all of us we're indie people. We like to make our own movies, tell our own stories. But I always said that those 3 characters, particularly, even I can't comment on Scream 5. Someone told me it's not the same ending as normal.
Yeah.
So you know, I might have to back off on that one. But if you want to sum up the ones that I know, Scream 1 to 4. I could sum up the movie in 8 seconds, which is, it's me, Sidney. I hate you really bad. Here's why. Cindy kills him, and Dewey comes in and goes, "Way to go, Sid!" That's all 4 of those movies in 8 seconds.
Pretty much. I think that's a solid highlight of it.
So I hope in this last one they proved me wrong, which a couple of people told me they did. They're like, "No, it didn't happen." I was like, "All right, okay, you know." But
yeah, I heard it's really good.
I was trying to see it before I started this, but you know, I'll catch it by my next live. I'm only doing these like once a month. Anyone out there, feel free to drop some comments in here. We'll go, or any topic too.
Yes. I guess to kind of go back to what you were saying though, I do feel like it's a fine line, right? Because you do have fans of the franchise that like are directors that want to get in there and they want to make those nods to the old characters. But then you have these directors that come in and just have people tell them what was in the previous movies as like a bullet point. So then they go into the film and they go, okay, we got to have this guy. We got to have this guy.
Well,
She's gotta
we're
say
in
this.
that land now, especially in the soft PC universe. Well, you better check all the boxes now, which,
Yep.
you know, I don't mind when things get brought in. I hate when it's all one big overnight, everything changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't spoon feed me that shit, you know. But
So, and I don't know if you guys have talked about this yet because I was in a meeting before I hopped on here, so I didn't get to watch the intro, which I'll go back and check out afterwards. But have you guys talked about or seen the new Texas trailer, Texas Chainsaw Massacre trailer? And what are your thoughts on that? Because it looks like a direct duplicate of the latest Halloween.
you know what I call it? From what I saw, a safe film. It's just like you're gonna just try to recycle something to keep the fans happy. And I don't know about you, Brian, jumping on this one too, but I just think for particular now, Michael Myers and Leatherface, they have nothing left to say. I can't think. If you were to tell me I'm in charge of that right now, I'd be like, let me bring this back 10 years from now. They need the rest. It's kind of like the solo Batman movies.
Yeah.
He's been around for 30 years. He's got to rest. The only, believe it or not, Batman I want to see is in Justice League. And I want to see Ben Affleck at it, not Christian Bale. I could not see Christian Bale's character speaking to Superman and Wonder Woman with that arrogant, because they kicked the shit out of him. The Ben Affleck one was like a smooth, like nice guy, like team. All right, well, let's put our brains together.
Yeah.
That's the only Batman I want to see. I don't want to see this Darth emo one that's about to come out. I'm scared. Brian.
Oh, I want to see. I watched the trailer and all I kept thinking to myself is, they really dogged out John Dugan. I think there should be justice for John Dugan. Get him in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you're gonna bring back all the characters from the first
John
movie,
should be in that shit.
He should be. He should be justice for John Dugan. I'm gonna hashtag that shit and make an NFT.
As you can see by our background, we're a little bit of Texas Chainsaw fans here.
Oh,
so
fuck yeah!
We've got quite a few John Dugan.
This is your first wall I saw without not a lot of Jason stuff on it. So yeah, I saw all your masks and stuff.
One of my favorite movies is the classic canon film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, and it's because the Dennis Hopper plays Lefty Enright, and I love the name. So
they should definitely have John Dugan, and for me the curveball of the entire Texas Chainsaw. I'm a Hitchhiker fan. So when they kicked that around in 2003, it wasn't too bad in my eyes. The second he wasn't in it, like they didn't bring the hitch. I was like, is he coming in at the end? What
Where the hell is he?
Yeah.
We need this man. Yeah, Ed Neal is amazing, man. Ed Neal, John Dugan, both great people just personally, and then also incredible actors in the franchise. So they definitely are doing a disservice if they don't bring them back.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So you guys think Texas Chainsaw is going to be, where do you think it's, from what you've seen, but what's your gut feeling?
I want to like it just because I want another movie, but I don't know if I can like it because I think everybody thought the same thing. If you saw the new Halloween film, you saw the trailer and went, this is literally the same film with different people. Yeah. I mean, she gets in the fucking truck and says it's been 50 years. I mean, isn't that the same exact thing that fucking Laurie Strode said at one point? Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I was literally saying that all to myself.
Yeah.
Driving places. They said evil dies today. The script writer, they read it and I was like, that's good. They didn't punch the script writer in the face. They're like, stop. They're not going to walk around saying that. They're not. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Every time I see James Gordon, I just say evil dies tonight.
And I think I've always been a fan of Anthony Michael Hall. He's been good in everything. I don't know if he tried an action beat or the director said, this is where I want you. But it's like, why couldn't Anthony Michael Hall all of a sudden not act? It was bad. It was just like, kid walk down the street and blah, blah, and to top it all off, I didn't like his character because he went to a bar on Halloween where people had a good time and basically said, me, and them over there. So you owe us drinks.
What was his talent? Like, it was
Yeah.
a talent show. What was he just doing? He was just like, I survived, and
You owe me drinks. That's it. Buy me.
I'm low key an alcoholic, and he could come back. Who knows?
And I
That
was
his- that
really
was his
happy
talent.
when I was like, okay, they're showing people from the first film. Cool. All right. And
Yeah.
then they just die. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was-
I was like, they
it was
just died. What are they doing?
Can we talk about the fact that one of the biggest plot holes for me was when they see the short fat guy from the asylum and they go,
Ben
"It's
Franklin.
Michael Myers."
How do they know what he
How
looked
the
like?
How the fuck do you go from a 5'8", maybe
Yeah.
250-pound guy to someone who's fucking 7 foot tall,
Running
pushing,
from people.
Yeah.
Michael never ran from anyone. What do you mean?
Yeah, they profiled them. They're just
It
like,
was
oh,
so
you look like Ben Franklin. You didn't comb your hair. You've got to be Michael Myers. That's
him. That's got to be it.
So awful.
And I was
So
telling
disappointing.
Brian a little earlier about that ending where Jamie Lee leaves the house in 2018 on fire,
Yeah.
goes to the hospital, has a surgery, gets in a fight, goes back to sleep, and then wakes up with Wi-Fi in her head. Is the only thing I can think of. She directly, the World Wide Web downloaded what Michael Myers was to her and a cop sitting next to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they told the audience. They now know what Michael is. She didn't know beforehand.
Yeah.
The surgery, they must have put a chip in her or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was. It was terrifying.
Yeah. I did enjoy the kills. I'm not gonna
Oh, yeah.
lie.
No, the kills were
Kills were
Those were
incredible.
great, but
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else, I'm like, oh, you can just.
they didn't play around. I thought he looked really cool coming out of the fire thing.
Oh, yeah.
Except his mask would have melted completely on his face. By the way, it would have completely melted.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, but he
Just-
looked cool. I like to talk to the firemen about you don't fight someone one-on-one.
It was very like
Let's see how this guy does. Let's see how John Doe does. He didn't win. Steve,
Yeah.
get in there.
Get in there.
It's like when you play Streets of Rage and you're fighting one guy and everyone else is just watching you beat up like their friend, and then they they tag in once you're done beating up their friend and eat a
Yeah,
turkey.
Oh, it was pure madness, man.
So bad.
Yeah.
I just didn't. It literally just felt like it was to me on the conveyor belt of films they had to do. And that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're insulting us, but at the same time, it's like every horror movie fan is going to watch it because they got to drop their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They got to give the honest review,
Yep.
and then they got to rate them in order, which I didn't ask you to do. I don't think I asked you to do. They do it for
True.
Star Wars films. They do it for all their Marvel movies. I'm like, why? That go outside.
Yeah. Go do something.
Go outside.
But you have to read their letterbox, Lauren.
Yeah, I have. To.
Read their reviews, please. No one else is.
Freaking messed up, man. It really is. But
Oh man.
is there any films out there that people should be seeing that's like new that we can pass on?
Ooh, what have we watched?
Mm.
Well, I don't know. This isn't a film, but we just finished the show on Netflix.
Which one?
Archive. Is
Oh,
it Archive 81?
Archive 81. You
Have you
guys
seen
check that out?
that?
No, I can't say I have.
It's not a movie.
So-
It's a show, but it's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's pretty sick, man. It's
It's good.
what is it? 8 episodes, 10 episodes. I think it's 8 episodes. Just about a guy who gets basically pulled in to restore a bunch of old videotapes that were burnt up in a fire, and every time he restores one, some other shit happens. He finds out more things. And
Oh, okay. I like that content. This is on Netflix?
yeah, it's on Netflix. It's really good, man.
He's
It's
alone
really
in the Catskills Mountains in this isolated house. It's huge.
Mhm.
A lot of really bad shit happened there, and then he just knocks down these walls and finds all kinds of crazy shit. And
Is it one of those he's kind of isolated?
He's isolated, but it goes back and forth. So when he restores a tape, you go into the tape, and then it basically transitions over to this person's life. And you see what was going on, and it's a bunch of occult stuff, sex orgies, crazy
satanic demons going into the other world, worlds combining.
It's cats.
It's really
Like the movie Cats?
Yeah,
No.
Talking with you.
That is the best horror movie that's ever been put out there.
Oh,
for
goddamn
sure.
No. Pretty
it's
Woman will always be
horror.
the most scariest movie ever made.
Pretty Woman?
Yes. A guy fell in love with a
Scarier than-
street hooker.
Scarier than James
Like,
Corden in a
like
fucking
not an
bodysuit?
escort.
That's-
He fell in love with a street hooker. And he's got to explain that to everyone he meets. Like, how'd you meet? Be like, well, funny. Cat's out of the bag. I had this thing. I pick up street hookers.
You know, there's a musical, right? They just made a
Yeah.
musical. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
James Corden in a cat suit. No, I'm kidding.
That's so bad.
I love it. I love it.
So bad.
That's it.
Brian, I did not notice your Howard the Duck in the background. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm a fan of movies that no one else likes. So I like
love
to
that
hang
movie.
them up and showcase them. I got a big giant poster of Death Wish 3 out in the living room, one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, it's the bastard child of George Lucas, so why not? Let's showcase it here.
You're right.
Awesome. All right, kids. Well, plug away anything you want right now, or how anyone could reach you guys. And I'm going to thank you guys for coming on. This was fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Brian, obviously you first.
You start.
Sure. Go see Hideout. It came out in November last year, and we're going to be at the Garden State Film Festival. That's where one of our final screenings will be at. But you can also see Hideout on Amazon, to Vudu, Redbox, Apple TV, iTunes, YouTube, and then I believe it will be on Amazon Prime for Prime members sometime in February. I'll get a date for you. So yeah, check it out. Hideout.
Sick.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Sarah,
Yeah.
Josh, go for it. What do you got?
You first, because you're beautiful.
No. So.
I'm not lying.
Oh, thanks. So I was talking last year about doing a baby firefly photo shoot from House of a Thousand Corpses.
Me too.
I have the dress. There's this amazing designer named Amalia. She lives in Los Angeles. She works with Danielle Harris. She made this dress for me. It's amazing. Turn it around.
It's the full replica of
Yeah. I want to be
dancing scene.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that with it. Like, I believe in a week or two. Thanks to COVID, we had to put it off last year, so that was a no. So that's what
fucked everything up.
I have coming up. But together, we have a couple of things like Amityville Hex.
Oh,
Direct-
Amityville Hex, yes.
Finally
that's
coming out
releasing
this
finally?
year. It was supposed to release last summer. Thanks COVID, it didn't release.
Yeah.
So this year they're saying it's Vipco and Wild Eye releasing. Director Tony Newton, he's awesome. He's in the UK.
I'm friends with him. Yeah, good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's-
we did that film.
What
a couple
movie did
years
we put
ago.
out with him? The first one?
Dark Web Mystery Box.
Dark Web
and
Mystery
then,
Box.
Amityville Hex. That's
Yeah.
a cult film. Super excited for that.
Yes.
And what else do we have?
Dark Web's actually out. You guys can check that out on YouTube if you look up Dark Web Mystery Box.
Yeah.
We also did the Witchcast too. So Witchcast we did with Tony Newton, Rihanna Nicole. There's a bunch of different people in there, great people. That's up on YouTube as well. And we actually, you guys will be the first to know if you want a little sneak peek.
Oh shit.
Got a project with Brink Stevens coming out. Just working on finishing up the marketing stuff for that. You should start seeing some clips and a trailer come out probably in about a week or two.
Sweet.
So keep your eye out for that. It's parolethemovie.com. There's a lot of big stars. The website is totally outdated right now, and that's something that I've been brought on to kind of update and help out. As well as I am the actor in the first scene. So
Fuck yeah.
pretty cool. Got to be in the movie. Got to hang out with Brink Stevens, a bunch of different great people. I won't ruin the surprise of everybody who's in there, but I figured Brink might, ring some bells with you guys with that name. So
Sweet. Well, then I say to my audience, thank you for taking the time to check out the show. Please subscribe on YouTube as well as Amazon, Spotify. There it is. Stitcher and iHeartRadio. We have a new show every Monday. And check out The Dark Military for free. Tubi and Zumaplex. And what we got? Pennsylvania Hardcore. This is free in the same outlets. So with that, I will
Fucking love that scene.
All right, guys. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. I should have brought my Chucky doll over and say goodbye to her. But, all right.
here.
We'll save it the next time.
Bye.
There you go.
Bye,
All right.
everybody.
True massacre. All right, boys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.